Mobile equipment. All quarries have mobile equipment on site constantly moving throughout the day. Loaders, haul trucks, pickups. Safety awareness should be at its peak when operating or working around mobile equipment because it is consistently one of the greatest causes of serious injuries and fatalities in the industry. While operating or working near mobile equipment always presents some risk, some situations have a greater potential to cause a serious injury or fatality. Let's take a look at the highest risk situations for mobile equipment. One of the biggest risks is operating mobile equipment around pedestrians. Every year, fatalities occur in the mining industry where someone is struck by a piece of mobile equipment. Be certain you are aware of workers, contractors, customers, and anyone else on foot at your work site. Another high-risk situation is when equipment interacts with other equipment, such as the common occurrence of loading or unloading material where a loader interacts with a haul truck. Hazardous areas can be present all over the quarry and plant properties. Be aware of these hazards. Inclement weather can cause an operator to lose control of a vehicle, equipment can go over the edge of a high wall or fall at dump locations, or tall equipment can strike overhead power lines. These are just a few examples of hazard areas you may encounter when operating mobile equipment. There are specific critical controls that should be in place when working with and around mobile equipment. A critical control is a safeguard that is put in place to keep you safe and prevent a serious injury or fatality from occurring. A vehicle pedestrian segregation should be in place at all facilities. Vehicles should have specific paths and roads separate from pedestrian paths. For any non-employee, a vehicle pedestrian segregation plan should be in place. Ensure employee visibility. Employees and those on work sites must wear high visibility clothing to be more easily identified and seen. Ensure vehicle visibility. When driving smaller or light-duty vehicles like pickup trucks, flags and light bars should be used to make your vehicle more noticeable and visible. Keep in mind, large pieces of mobile equipment like loaders have very large blind spots. Communication between equipment operators. Three-part communication should be used between operators. This is where one worker sends a message, the receiving worker acknowledges and repeats the message, and the sender acknowledges back. Hands-free devices are always recommended when possible. Immediately report any changes or unusual conditions to workers. Use clear signage and barriers to identify hazards and guide the flow of traffic. Make sure signs are a language employees understand. Use barriers like barricades, flagging, and berms to identify hazards. Operators must follow all signs, keep clear of barricaded areas, and immediately notify supervisors if a new or updated sign or barricade is required. When dumping material, keep your equipment a safe distance from any edge and push the material forward with a dozer. Have all individuals and visitors picking up equipment or materials stay inside their vehicle. By minimizing the number of people on foot around any mobile equipment, you lessen the chances of a serious injury or fatality occurring. Operate your equipment free of any distractions, especially cell phones, and do not multitask. Identify common or potential distractions that could pull someone's attention away from operating mobile equipment and establish company policies and regular training to minimize distractions. Use safety features on your vehicle. Adjust your mirrors, use backup sensors, clean cameras, and wear a seatbelt every single time you're in a vehicle. Make sure all safety features are working properly. If a piece of equipment is defective, do not operate it and follow your company procedures to tag out the equipment for repair. Sound the horn before moving forward or backward. This lets anyone around you know that you plan to move and that they need to be aware. Speed limits vary from site to site. Set appropriate speed limits at your site and follow all speed limits as posted. Thank you for taking time to understand the high risks and critical controls when operating or working around mobile equipment. It's important you remember them as you work on any property.